Creation versus evolution. Creation versus evolution. This happens to be a very important and prevalent subject and our topic this week in this day and age that we live in. Because everywhere you go, we have what I seem to call, and what I've been taught, is a spiritual warfare. Whether God ever existed, how the planet got here, how did humans get here. You may remember, depending on how old you are, how the schools tried to tell us that man, we, as man on this earth, evolved or was created or came from monkeys. There was always that poster where in the beginning there was a small monkey, and as the poster went on, there were several snapshots of the monkey walking at the end in an upright position, and which had turned into a man. That is evolution. The schools, our government, wants to tell us that God never made man at all. That's evolution. It tells us that man was made or came from monkeys and animals, and that the planet, years and billions of years ago, planets collided and this planet was formed, and from it came the animals and the monkeys. That's your evolution. Now, creation says, and my Bible tells me, and if you read, it will tell you the same, that God is the creator of everything. He created man and created animals. He created everything on this planet. And we must adhere to that, because it is the answer to a lot of our problems, our misunderstanding, and it is the solution to our miseducation. If you only go on what they teach you in schools and colleges, in prep schools, and even in kindergarten, you will believe in the process of evolution. And evolution cancels out belief in God. And what I'm here to tell you today is that evolution has no place in this world. It's something that is made up by our scientists and our political leaders to extract, maneuver, and manipulate and generate money from the people in this society. They control you by fear that there isn't a God. They control you by fear that if you don't adhere to their words and their understanding as to where you come from, where we all come from, then you have no place in this world in their eyes, because you're not valuable to them. The problem with evolution is the evidence of it. There is no evidence that the planets collided, because if that is true, I have questions for all of these evolutionists, what they call themselves. Where did the animals come from? How did the fossil layers form? How did the stars, or how do the stars just hang there in the sky? The questions that are burning in the minds of a lot of people that are listening to me now. But God is the only answer there is to these questions. But not if you go to our school system and our government explanation of it. We are so much in fear of going to hell that we create our own hell here on earth without believing that there is a God. Our school system only goes on evolution. Our school system does not understand the power of faith. So therefore, they do not know how to teach it. They do not know how to have discussions of it. But faith is an important element of your life, especially, and I want to go back on what I've said on many shows, if you're a black person in America. You need God. You need to know that there is one. It has been said that the greatest trick that the devil has ever pulled is to make the world believe that he did not exist. When you believe that the devil do not exist, then he has full reign over your understanding, your being, your self-worth, and the way you see things in this life. We need to understand that yes, the devil does exist, and yes, he is powerful, but at the same time, God is all powerful. There's proof all around us that there is a God. There is proof all around us that he's blessing us every day. We have a time machine, so to speak, and it's called the Bible, Basic Instructions Before Leaving This Earth. It is our Bible. It is our guide to our everyday life, how to deal with people, how to deal with situations, how to deal with the spiritual warfare that our government has us in. They do not want us to believe in anything that requires faith that takes power away from them. God has all power. He is all-knowing. He created all things. When you begin in your life to acknowledge that, then everything that is good of this earth will begin to come to you. You will not have to work for it, because then you're walking in rhythm. You're walking with your hand in the hand of the Creator. And then that creates such a power that you cannot be stopped. There is evidence that the government and our school system just do not want us to believe in God, does not want us to have faith. There's a story here out of Minnesota. Listen to this very carefully. The Minnesota School Board wants to teach sex education to kindergartners, teaching homosexuality as if it is normal. According to the press reports, the Montana School Board wants sex education for children starting in kindergarten, including and with particular emphasis on homosexuality. Included with the program is an illustration of the body parts breakdown, elements that every person has available. This also includes each part and how to use each part of the human body. How can they teach this to our children? It is just another way and another proof that not only does God exist, but the devil exists right alongside of him. And he is fighting in every stage to keep us away from our faith, from our future, from what we deserve, from what we are meant to have. That Montana story, the reason I said that is because it is an indication and is what is soon to overtake the country. We as black people should not be living in fear. We're living in so much fear that right now we're tied to the tracks with the train fast coming, and we're strapped to the wing with the engine running. And we're so afraid to step out and speak out and to ask the question as to why they're teaching sex education in schools. Why are they giving out condoms to preschoolers long before they get to high school? These questions should be asked. There is nothing, no way on this planet that there isn't a God. Who made the mountains? Who made the trees? Who made the rivers flow down to the seas? And that's just to quote a very famous writer. I love reading literature that proves that there's a God other than the Bible. There's proof in your poetry. There's proof in your songs. There's certain things around you. The trees, the rivers, the seas, the way the waters flow. Man cannot do that. Man cannot hang the stars up in the sky. Our problem is we're getting away from understanding and believing and having faith in the Almighty Creator. As a result of that, we have lost the minds of our children. And our children are taking over at a rapid rate, and they don't know what to do with power. They don't understand what the term respect means. They don't respect life. They don't respect themselves. They don't respect their parents. They look to them parents to give them respect. And that's the opposite of the way it should be. Creation versus evolution. Creation is God's way of letting us know that he exists. Evolution is man's way of saying there is no God and we created and own everything, which is one of the greatest lies ever invented by man, for man, and I believe just to generate more money, especially from black people. When you put someone in prison in their mind, then nothing they do from that moment on is of their own. You control them. And that's what they've been trying to do to us for centuries. We must grasp back the minds of our children first in order to reverse this process. Our children is important to our future. They're not just the future, they are the present. So let us remember, creation, evolution, choose a side. And when you look at the evidence, there really isn't a side to choose. God owns all of this. The Father, the Son, and the Holy Ghost. Remember to pray, remember to have faith, and remember what that faith stands for. Walk in your faith. Talk in your faith. Don't be persuaded by anyone. Peace.